Hello, boy. Hi. Hi, guys. It's me, Kit. And I have a cat meowing. Say hi to the camera. God, you're purring so loud. Hi, guys. I said that already, but I'm saying it again. As you can see, I have different color hair. Again. I posted, like, my TikToks for shorts on YouTube. And, yeah, I just decided to dye it. I actually had the dye for a while, but I was waiting, for like a couple weeks to let the dye that I did previously before this would settle in, and then dye this. So I know how much my family dislikes my life choices, and I can tell how much they dislike this color. So yeah. Okay, so today's video is gonna be me talking about time that I was homeless. You heard me right. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? I don't know. I don't know why I even did that. But, yeah, I was homeless for a bit. Nothing to be ashamed of if you're ever in a situation like this. I just kind of like to talk about these sorts of things to maybe just kind of shed light on things, being like, hey, if you've ever been through this situation, it's not something to be shameful of or whatever. Like, these things happen, especially if you're the child involved in this. Like, you're not in control of everything. You're just kind of stuck with however your parents mediate finances and leading you to this situation. So yeah, I think that made sense. I hope that made sense. Yeah. So the story starts in the summer of 2009. Like, I had just got out of 6th grade, I think a week prior. So it was really early in June. My dad had just left to go do a filming project for my godfather's film company, which was a pretty big deal because, like, they won, like, a television award for it. But I don't really remember having the conversation or when it came up or whatever. It's weird because I was 12, you should remember these things, but what I just remembered is, like, 1 minute things were kind of normal. The next minute I was messaging my friend on Facebook, like, confiding to them because I was, like, so stressed out about this, going, hey, I'm being kicked out of my home. Like, we have nowhere to go. So we literally packed up all of our stuff and put it in storage unit, and that was like really sad because, like, there was a lot of things that were left behind. Like, I had this, like, curio cabinet filled with, like, VHS tapes from my childhood, and my mom just said leave it, so we left it. I think we left my old desk, my old bed frame, because, like, we couldn't take it all with us, and so it was just left at our place. We had, like, a certain amount of time to get all of our stuff out before, like, I think law enforcement was going to get involved. I don't know how severe this was because, again, I was 12. I didn't know anything. My sister was, like, 13, so, like, we were young. We didn't know what was happening. We were just being told to pack things up and leave. And then we had 2 cats at the time, so they went to friends to be watched over while we were trying to figure shit out. After everything was packed up in our apartment that we had lived at that time into a storage unit, and our cats were being looked after by, like, some friends, we went to the same town where my dad was at doing the filming project. Now, I don't want to say too much of what it was, because if I give out too many details, then you're probably going to be able to find where I was or whatever. I don't think there's any sort of information that will be, like, out there about me being homeless or whatever, because I'm not influential or whatever. But, like, we were there to film, like, a pageant. That's all I'm going to say. The pageant won a television award. Yeah. So we were staying in this hotel with my dad for a week while he did the filming project. My mom helped. My sister and I, we helped too by, like, bringing cables back and forth. We did stuff with the camera work. The other camera crew people, operators, they were really chill with us. Like, we were the youngest kids there because, like, we were the only kids there, except for, hello? hello. The only other kid that I remembered seeing there was like, so the hotel we were staying at was like a family owned hotel, and like husband and wife owned it. And sorry, my cat's playing and it distracted me. So the hotel's a family owned hotel, and husband and wife there, and then like their child was there, and I think the child was like a little younger than me, but that was like about it. Cat got the zoomies. And so yeah, we were like really young. We were helping out. I shouldn't say really young. Like I was almost a teenager. My sister was a teenager, but we were young. We were helping out. We were dealing with this incredible stressful situation while staying at a hotel, trying to figure out what was going to come next once we were out of the hotel. Yada yada yada. We do all the filming. Filming gets done. The pageant's over. And we had to go back to nothing. So we ended up driving back to the town where we lost everything, the town that I grew up in, and we literally just like kind of parked in front of the storage unit where all of our stuff was in while my parents were trying to figure out what we were going to do next. Now, no one in my immediate family, no one outside of my immediate family, so no one besides my mom, my dad, my sister, and I knew we were homeless. So my grandparents didn't know, my aunts and uncles didn't know, my cousins didn't know. This was just like very tight-lipped, quiet. And like also the two friends that were watching the cats, because two different people were watching the cats. So yeah, no one knew. So that was the whole thing. So we had to figure out what we were going to do next. And so my sister got in contact with her future ex-boyfriend. At the time, they were just friends, and said, hey, maybe if your mom's chill with it, we can crash at your place, because like he had offered or whatever. And at first my mom said no, but then my mom said, okay, well maybe we can crash with them. So we ended up crashing at her future ex-boyfriend's, but current at the time of the story's, friend's house. And by crashing, I mean we didn't actually sleep in the house. So their house was like just like a one story, one floor, like kind of rectangle length like this. It wasn't super big. It was like two bedrooms because, no, 3 bedrooms. Yeah. I don't know why I was saying 3, but like, two, but it was like a 3-bedroom because like, he had a sister and his mom. So mom was in the back of the house, the boy and the sister and the brother were in the front of the house area. Like it was kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, they had their own spaces or whatever. But we weren't allowed to sleep in the house for whatever reason. I don't know why. So they gave us a tent and we stayed in their backyard. Mind you, like this was out in the middle of like BFE, like middle of nowhere, rural area. There was like the closest neighbor was maybe like a mile away. So like no one was gonna look in on these 4 people sleeping in a tent and like wonder why are they there. So yeah, we slept in a tent, and this tent wasn't made for 4 people. It was made for 2 people. And I slept in that tent with my mom, my dad, and my sister for a week. And we were allowed to go into the house to shower, bathroom, anytime during the day and night. But for whatever reason, we just weren't allowed to sleep inside. Like, I don't know why my sister and I, we couldn't sleep in the house, but whatever, that's what it was. After some time, though, it was probably getting into maybe like the 3rd or 4th day we were there, things were starting to get very heavy, as if they weren't already heavy. Like, I could hear the quiet arguments that my parents were having that they didn't want my sister and I to hear. That was based off of the fact that my dad was still obviously going to work. He was going to work while we were homeless, still getting money. But my mom was angry with how he was spending the money. So we don't have a home. We're living in a tent. And my dad is still buying alcohol. Like, he's an alcoholic. He'll be an alcoholic till the day he dies. He's not a great guy when he's drunk. That's a story for another day. But yeah, he would buy his and I can say it to this day, he would buy his case pack of Old Milwaukee. Because my dad drank Old Milwaukee. I say drank like he doesn't drink anymore. He still drinks it. He's still an alcoholic. Yeah. but they were fighting with finances, that the fact that we didn't have a home yet. I think it was about like June 30th or whatever, or it was not June 30th, it was like June 20th or something like that. It was kind of, in a sense, almost the end of June, and it's like, hey, we have like one more full month of summer before we return to school. How are we going to return to school if we don't have a home? So like there was panic, obviously, but like it was feeling more panic that I was feeling from my parents that they were trying to hide at this moment, because like I was mentally thinking like, oh my god, like Michael Jackson just died and so did Billy Mays. When am I going, how am I going to go back to school knowing the fact that I'm homeless? Yeah, I was homeless when Billy Mays and Michael Jackson died. That's how I found out the news. I found out the news by reading a newspaper. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at that, but that's how I'm coping with all of this, like my literal trauma from, yeah. I was worried and freaked out, wondering like if I was going to go back to school at all, if I was going to go back to school and be homeless. Like, I only had a certain amount of clothes on me. It was just really, yeah. So, my mom and dad caved with their pride, and they called my mother's mom, who was so angry at my mom and my dad for the lack of like, I don't know what the word to say, like the lack of like, responsibility or something. I don't know, maybe the lack of like empathy or so, I don't know, just the lack of like sense of, hey, how is your kids doing? You're not coming to people who can give you money, ask for like payback later, but could give you money so you can find a place to shelter your children. But I don't know, whatever. I wasn't involved in those conversations. I was just kind of off in my own little world, dealing with my stress, anxiety. And yeah, I will appreciate the fact that my sister's ex-boyfriend at the time, but past tense friends, mom and sister and him, they were really cool with my sister and I. Like, they were really nice to like let us go inside and chill and watch movies and kind of help us like unload some stress and whatever that was going on. I watched Final Fantasy, the movie. Not like the weird one, the one that was like, what's the one? I don't remember the movie's called, like title, but it was the actual one that had like Final Fantasy characters, like the one with Cloud, Sephiroth, and stuff like that. I remember watching that there. But, so my grandparents, my mom's parents, ended up giving my parents some money to, get, a place. So, I think they also called my dad's parents too to help with money, because we ended up finding a place. By we, I mean my parents. They found this trailer that I ended up spending my rest of my time when I lived with my parents there, because they still live there to this day. They found this trailer. They were able to put down first month's rent and like the deposit down. And we moved in on June 30th, 2009. I remember that because, yeah. So we got a trailer. Oh, side note, before we even got the trailer, my mom was really missing her cat. This cat was an all-black cat. She was my first pet ever. I loved her so much. And so we literally went and got the cat. The other cat was still with the other friend, but we dropped what we were doing to go get this cat. My mom wanted this cat, so we had to go get the cat. I mean, I love her. I loved her so much too, but it was just one of those moments going, hey, priorities. The cat's fine. But when we got to that friend's house, we found out that the cat was trapped in between the wall and another room. Like, the best way to describe it, it was kind of like where he was staying was kind of like a furnished barn situation, and like the top area was like a loft spot. And you know how barns look, like there's like kind of whatever. So like it was in between like a wall area, and no one else could reach the cat but me. So I had to go in this really hot barn roof loft area, creeping behind like panels to get this cat. She it was so sweet to this day. I love the fact that I still think about this, that when I grabbed her, she just like melted in my arms. Like she missed us, and I really missed her so much too. I still miss her. So anyways, I think in total, I was homeless for like 4 or 5 weeks or something like that. That's not a lot for some people, but it's still like a significant amount. And like also, yeah, I was 12 years old. It wasn't like I was homeless at a young age, but it was still young enough that it's kind of left me left me kind of affected to finances and stuff like that. Because it never got easy after that. There were still moments where, like, if my parents were late on a bill, I was thinking, oh no, this is it. We're going to be kicked out again. Because there had been moments where power had been cut out during the middle of the summer, or heat cut out before winter started, power cut off during winter. And we just had to either just make do until the power came back on, or we crashed somewhere else for the night. And yeah, that was my life from after 12 till before I left my parents' house at age 23. Because I stayed with them to complete college. Because I said if I stayed home, I had to either get a job or go to college. And I got a job at first, and then I went to college afterwards. So I was a full-time college student. They helped provide some of the schooling, and I provided the other part of it. But yeah, I've always had like issues with money. My brain gets like really paranoid and worried. Even to this day, like I think if I spend so much money, I'm not going to have enough for rent, electric, internet, other bills, even for food. And old habits die hard, I guess. It would be like sometimes I don't eat a certain amount of food. Like I will just like not eat breakfast and lunch and just eat dinner because I'm like, I don't have enough food. And it's like, that's how I was like as a kid or whatever. And I would just snack. And it's like, that's not healthy. But I'm working on it. I'm working on my issues and getting better at it, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I think what's kind of like messed up about this is that I've told this story to multiple people before, that I was homeless and the whole glitz and glam of it, I guess. And when I would tell people about it, I joke about it. Because like, how else am I going to deal with something that's kind of serious like this than not joke about it? But the older I've gotten, the more I kind of thought of, damn, CPS should have gotten involved. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was homeless. My parents weren't providing for me. My dad was choosing alcohol over, like, his responsibilities. It was just frustrating. Yeah. And they're about to start. Shh. Hey. Hey. We're not fighting behind me. Don't poke your head out. Look at the other cat. It's the other one. Yeah, it's my other black cat. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say? No. What about you, boy? Nothing? They're so vocal when the camera's rolling. Literally, the second I turned the camera off, she meowed. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I can add to the story than that. I laugh a lot when I'm uncomfortable and I'm nervous, so yeah. That's the story time of when I was homeless. Oh, wait, I can add something real quick. While I was away with my parents and my sister when we were at that town doing the filming for that pageant thing, that was the first time I had alcohol. I was 12 years old. I was offered alcohol. I don't think that's okay. Like, it was weird. They were having like a big like celebration thing for like the first day of filming or whatever, and I wasn't a part of that because like we were moving to get up there, and we arrive, it's late at night, and all these adults are like drinking and like woo, we did it, and they're showing like the show on the screen, so like on a big screen, and we're all watching it or whatever in a parking lot, and all of a sudden like this guy was just offering my sister and I alcohol, and we were like genuinely confused. I'm like, I'm 12. And my mom's like, oh, you can have it, whatever. And I had alcohol for the first time there with my mom being okay with it. Take that with how you want to take that. Mind you, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink. I don't drink, period. I think the last time I had a drink was, when was it? Oh, my wedding, which was a year ago. But before that, I don't remember. And by like had a drink at my wedding, I just had like one alcoholic beverage and like thousands of water bottles handed to me because everyone thought I needed water because of how hot I was in my dress. But I think that's where I'm gonna end things. I don't think there's anything else to add to that, besides the trauma. It's not the only traumatic story I have. I think this is probably the most tame, not trigger-based, any sort of story that I have. But that's where I'm gonna end things. If you have any questions about it, about things that I didn't say in here, or if I said something and you're kind of confused about it, put comments down below. I'll answer it. I don't care. I'll be as forthcoming as I need to be. Besides my social security, you won't get that. I don't know why I needed to say that, but whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna end things. This is a really long, drawn out conclusion to this video. So hope you like the hair color. But anyways, take it easy, guys, gals, non-binary pals. Peace out, homeboys, skaters, dudes, whatever. Boom, boom, pow. The chicken check. No, I can't do that. I could get copyrighted.